This video is brought to you by Against the Flow of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi is a book about Jake Fayard, a Marine veteran who is unhappy with the political machine running the state of Mississippi. He decides to fight the corruption from the inside. Jake will face more challenges than he ever has and will stand up for what he thinks is right. His notoriously hot temper will push him to the edge of murder, along with his friend and brother Kobe Barhanovich. Together, they will fight the system and give the power back to the citizens of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi is now available on Amazon. A link to the book will be placed in the description below. Welcome to History in the Eyes of a Southerner with your host, Anthony Allen. On this channel, we will take a journey through time and relate history to the contemporary eyes of modern America. I hope you enjoy the ride as I investigate and document the wonderful events that have shaped our present world. Alright, y'all. Another episode of 80's Kid Don't Understand, brought to you by History in the Eyes of a Southerner. Your host, Anthony Allen. You know, there's something else that drives me crazy. And this actually isn't a new thing. This isn't a 2023 thing. This is more like it kind of goes back to the 80's, really. I want to talk about music. Now, I will admit, I think about the most recent music I listen to, the newest music that I listen to, is by a guy that you'll never hear on the radio. And I got to give him a shout out right here, and that's Buddy Brown. Buddy Brown is a fellow Mississippian. Very, very wise man. And he's got more talent than probably any new artist I've heard today. Other than that, all music that comes out today sounds the same. I can't tell the difference between hip-hop and country, rap and country. I don't even know if they're still making rock anymore. I think it's all kind of gone that way too. It's all like pop. It's all under the umbrella of pop. That's just, again, just my opinion. And everything is done with an auto-tuner, on a keyboard, and on a laptop, and on a... You know, there's really, from what I can tell, there's not a lot of instruments today. Not that I can not that I can tell that I've heard. And I'm sitting here and I'm trying to figure this out because When I was a kid, and granted, I'm going to tell you what I was raised up on. I was raised up listening to a radio station back home called Coast 102, and it was oldies. That's what my mom listened to. I was raised up on Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins. Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper. Oh yeah, we going all the way back. And I still listen to that stuff today. I love that stuff. Diana Ross and the Supremes, Otis Redding. And again, I still love listening to this today. Broke my heart a couple of months ago when Jerry Lee Lewis died. Love you, killer. God bless you. Even when I was a kid, outside of a small window in my life where I tried to follow the crowd, those that know me just looked at the screen and went, huh? You actually did that? Yes. Elementary school, briefly, I decided I was going to follow the crowd. Didn't last but a couple of years, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to do everything I can to go against the grain. And so far, that's pretty well how I've lived my life. On my own terms. I'm my own man. I do my own thing. I don't tolerate certain things, being played in my car. Doesn't matter who's riding in it. Was actually a few years ago, I was spending time with my daughter. Unfortunately, due to circumstances, I don't get to see my daughter very often. I really only get to see my daughter when they need something. And unfortunately, I'm in that situation, but I've dealt with it for 15 years, and though I don't accept it, I've gotten used to it. That being said, I was actually with my daughter. I was in East Tennessee with her. And we're sitting there, we're riding through the Smoky Mountains, and all of a sudden, my phone just started playing Elvis. And I looked at her and I said, "Do you like this?" "Yeah, but I can't." And she goes, this is what she told me. "Yeah, but I can't listen to it because my friends will think I'm weird." Looked at her, I said, I actually pulled the car over. I looked at this child and I'm like, "You care to run that by me again?" "Well, I can't listen to stuff like that because it's old, and if I listen to old music, my friends will look at me weird." Now, in all fairness, my daughter does have some issues. I looked at her and I said, "You know what? If you like it, listen to it. Doesn't matter what it is. Within reason, of course." Obviously, I don't want her listening to some of the more explicit music. At the time, I think she was about 12, maybe 13. But I said, if you like it, listen to it. Doesn't matter if it's old. I listen to old stuff. I listen, She goes, well, do you listen to any new stuff? Not really. It all sounds the same to me. She goes, well, what do you mean? I said, I can't tell the difference between rap and country anymore. It's all got that stupid, crank up the bass crap. Just my opinion. I'm trying to share my opinion because I wanted her to share hers. I wasn't really trying to influence her one way or the other. And well, I just can't listen to this because my friends will call me weird. That taught me something. That really taught me something. It's a sad day when you have to conform to keep friends. Now, I don't know if this is true with your kids, if you're watching, and let me know in the comments, please. But it struck me as very odd, very sad, and very disheartening that my daughter felt like she has to change her preferences for somebody else. Now, in all fairness, because of my daughter's disability, she's not really a leader, and she is very easily persuaded to do things. I blame that on her raising. But, again, I don't get to see her that often. Just because of the way my ex is. I want somebody to comment and tell me if this is the norm or if this is just my child. I would also like to encourage everybody to let your child explore the new and the old. Because I certainly don't understand why you wouldn't. Again, to this day, my favorite artists, as I mentioned, Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Johnny Cash, B.B. King, David Allan Coe, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson. I like the 80's too, REO Speedwagon, Journey, Phil Collins, Eagles. About the newest ones I'd listen to, mainstream, is probably Jamie Johnson. That's about as new as I'll listen to. Simply because I can't listen to the actual country music station because I don't like that boom, 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 boom crap they got going on. It literally hurts my head. It's just sounds like nothing but bass to me. Maybe I'm just getting old and I don't understand it. But I'm kind of wondering if anybody else is starting to feel the same way. And again, he's not a sponsor of the channel, but go check out Buddy Brown. I think y'all would like him. I think he makes a lot of sense. And his music's awesome too. Anyway, y'all carry on. History in the Eyes of a Southerner, your host, Anthony Allen.